Hello, everyone. Welcome to League Zero Intermediate Week. I think this is 6 for Intermediate. There's a lot more Intermediate teams than anything else. We have Capitalism versus Pepega Parrots today, or tonight, or whatever you want to call it. And this is going to be an interesting match. Let's just say that. I'm Volcanor. I'm your play-by-play for today. Joining me is Intel on your color commentary.
Welcome everybody. We are excited here to cast a rescheduled match between Mega Parrots and Capitalism. It's actually technically week 5, but it's kind of in the middle between up on week 6. Either way, we have a team that is yet to have a win on the side of Capitalism, losing to Exodus in a reverse sweep. And so now they're going up against Pepega Parents. And for those of you who don't know Pepega Parents at the moment, they've just gone through management switch and they're having a couple. So when going into this match, I'm a little worried for not only Pepega Parents, but for Capitalism. When it came to last week, I gave them a lot of credit. I was like, oh, Exodus, their entire team just left. They can do it. They can easily 3-0, and then they get reverse swept. And I feel Pepega Parents have the opportunity and possibly ability to do so. And I'm just trying to be very sweet when it comes to predicting. But I'm in an area where I'm so scared to do anything.
You cast or curse them. That's literally what happened.
I 100% caster curse them, and that's a struggle, I'd have to say. But either we're going to be starting out on a control map, and more specifically, we're going out on Busan. I really like Busan, and I don't know about you, but Busan is definitely one fairly interesting, or at least has some good variety.
All right, and it does look like we kind of have each team's starting lineup. Capitalism right now is showing Deflex, Slick, Greek, Remy, Kenobi, and Yosemite. Pepega Parrots are showing Afterhype, Golo, Feces, Tajutu, Emerald, and I believe they mentioned that Kizgo. Oh my gosh. Okay, I believe they mentioned the 6 was Kizgo or waiting on Kizgo to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
in.
that's no Kisco
Is that
is
Kizgo?
the bottom person called Gay Kid on God. For now, we will have to just let it slide.
That is
Just
Kizgo.
Yeah, that's Kizgo. Can't believe we're letting this slide. Either way, that is kind of going to be going out. Both of these teams have had different change effects that they've been doing. More specifically, it seems that Capitalism, they did just recently get Greek, who is, I think, mostly known for playing off tank, specifically that Roadhog, but they're not running out in Nova, and I think Nova has been playing fantastically. Not seeing him in the lobby nor in the game. I wonder what idea they might be going out with.
I do want to point out, I think Feces is actually getting subbed out for Pega Parrots for Damien Dapp, or at least that's what it sounds like. So we'll figure all that out as it's happening. Again, we've just gotten the last players that we need in the lobby, so they're still working on switching everyone around. Um, Going to Busan, as you said, this is gonna be exciting. Busan's, I think, is a really fun map to just watch whatever different compositions you'll get on it.
I specifically just love Mega Base. I think Mega Base is by far one of the most fun points. Specifically because, at least for me, I like to run a bit of Doomfist. I think you can play such an aggressive brawl that it really sets a pace for the map, and you can kind of get an idea of how each team playstyle is. But more importantly, I think it gives you a bit more confidence when it comes, especially if you want to go to somewhere like downtown, where that could possibly be a bit of a sniper map, a bit of a brawl, or dive. It really just depends on how a team wants to run it.
All right. So we are getting the final touches down to the game. It is Damien Dapp in for Pepega Parrots, not Feces, so that switch did happen. Production is ready to go. We're just waiting on the teams. A little bit of an update right now. Acri is up 1-0 against the recording. So if you're looking for info on that game, that's good.
Yeah, we're not having that
That's going.
game streamed right now. It's pretty intense. As Acronator is trying to get the rest of the VODs up by recording. So right now he's won. Oh, we got to give him love for that, and that's why I'm not only but casting. It's called being powerful. They've given me the mainstream. He can't stop me.
That's not only scary, that is a mistake. So
in both senses
Yes.
to a great margin. But I kind of want to talk a bit more about Busan because I don't know exactly, out of a rough idea, who it favors more. I do want to say Capitalism. They've been working together. They're probably having a big passion to burn and try to win this out. But even then, I don't want to kind of underestimate Pepega parents because they're going to they have to kind of push themselves farther if they want to be kind of pushing themselves to win. So there's definitely room for them to kind of bring it back.
Exactly. And I agree. I think Capitalism probably has this. I haven't seen Capitalism play, or I haven't seen a lot of their matches. I've seen short clips. But it seems like, well, it seems like Pepega, especially with some of these changes on their team and some of the newer faces we see, some of the changes in the background, it feels like they might need this first map to get started so they can actually say, okay, we're back to playing Overwatch. And then on starting on the second map, they'll do better. But I'll give them this first map to lose to kind of get back into the swing of actual playing Overwatch.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think not only does momentum, but getting the jitters out of, and that's what Capitalism suffered with last time was they went up against Exodus. They were doing really well on the first map, and then Exodus got rid of their jitters. They started warming up, and they felt great. So then they start walking in. They just have nothing to sweat about. So I think Capitalism not only needs to work on just communications and focus, but to just play hard and be quick.
Right. So we have kind of our predictions for this first map, or predictions for what each team are kind of need to look forward, what they need to do for this map. Pepega, main thing, get the jitters out. Capitalism, main thing is get everything, get rolling and stay rolling. And when we come back from this break, we will be into the first map and letting you all see as everything gets ready. So, yeah, stick around. It'll be just a little bit. All right, we're back into Busan. If Overwatch's servers let us in. There we go. So we're back into Busan. We're going to see the favorite Mecha Base first, unless I butchered this and it's not Mecha Base. No, it is
No, this
Mecha
this
Base.
is
Okay.
100% mecha base. My favorite of all the points when it comes to this game, solely because again, run that Doomfist and it's highly aggressive brawl, and I think brawl is one of the best things that comes out to this game. So we get a couple seconds, about 30 or so, to see what these teams might want to run. And on one side, there's brawl, and then on the other side, they're messing with
There's
us.
memes.
Yeah, they just want to destroy everything we're going out with.
All right, so we're going to easily expect the Flex to not rely on that Bastion, and he's already switched, so that's good. But McCree, May, Reinhardt, and off tank. Pretty mirror will get the Sigma versus Diva battle, but that is the only change actually that we will see. The only difference between these teams.
Yeah.
Early Ice Wall will force a movement on the side of Capitalism, as Gola will be the first one down for Pepega Parrots, but Greek and Remy both frozen up, forcing an Immortality field. Not enough damage with Kizgo going down. Not enough damage for Pepega Parrots to keep the damage up.
Yeah, I love Sigma, but he doesn't have the consistent eating and damage reduction that Remy has on the Diva. So when they're going into these fights, they're kind of at a slight disadvantage if they're not looking for these picks and if they're not going for the wall. So now they're just looking to kind of go against Kenobi's wall, and that Mei wall is going to be absolutely devastating.
That Mei wall forces Kizgo down, and a Shatter will get 3 on the end of it. Go force him into spawn. Slick almost gets Emerald to stay out of spawn.
This looks absolutely insane. A really good Mei wall to start it off. They get a pick, and they kind of invest 2 ultimates just to make sure that they win. Greek maybe didn't have to, but it sets momentum and tempo. Now he's showing them that he's not scared of them. So After Hype does have this window to try to help them out, and using the Mei wall to make some space.
All right, so again, that Mei wall to make some space, but with the amount of shields, it's hard to get some damage in. We'll see Ant Matrix Shatter and Graviton Flux. I don't know if you wanted to use that Shatter and Flux at the same time, but it seems like it's working okay until that bomb comes out and takes down Damien Dap. No more supports for Pepega Parrots. They'll fall. Capitalism. Is someone going to touch the door? No, they just ice wall the door.
No, they wanted to try to get Taiju out of it, and they did their best, and they're even going to switch before they come out with the Gordic Flux. Now they really have no ultimates besides from the Sound Barrier come up. Wow, it looks like Capitalism are fine and even get the Mei wall block.
And that Mei wall has been huge again and again, even with Slick's Blizzard being eaten. Good job on Taijutsu on the immediate switch. It's still so much in the favor of Capitalism, and that Sound Barrier from Damien Dap only hits 3. Emerald still goes down early, and now there goes Damien Dap. And you'll have Kizgo switching over to Doomfist to try to touch this point.
Oh, but unfortunately, Taiju was almost there, but just couldn't get it out. And it just seems Pepega Parrots are trying to get used to each other. They're not fully on the same sync, and it's causing them to not only not move as a team and get caught up in these Mei walls incredibly easily, but they're struggling at times. And that's understandable when it comes to kind of a team that's having a bit of internal issues, but I think losing to Capitalism is not really the worst thing that can happen, but it's definitely a meme of something to happen.
Exactly. So we'll see what we will get next. We'll have this beautiful, beautiful downtown center, I think. Again,
Yep.
I don't know these maps. And we will see the Sombra on both sides, but one team running the Symmetra, one team running the Reaper.
It was just to
Never
get the
mind.
TP out. So it's somewhat of an even trade, but that Reaper gives them so much more room to play aggressive, and that's what you rely on when it comes to those fights. So Bolo doesn't have much room to really play forward.
Right, it'll be on Emerald to kind of take either that Reaper or someone else on the side of Capitalism out of the fight. Or Kizgo can do it instead. I mean, that's essentially what you want, because now you have free reign. You don't have to worry about that Reaper. And Golo has all the positioning in the world as he's trying to get some damage in. Greek's about half. Slick's translocated out of the fight.
And they're gonna just be able to escape. Honestly, it really just makes a difference when you not only have that Tracer who's on the flank and immediately takes out Deflex to where they couldn't push in that much, but Kappatilism aren't pushing in. They're not looking for an opportunity, and they're taking their time, which is not a best thing of going up against a Sombra and Tracer combination where they're focusing and looking for picks to shut you down.
Exactly. So we got an EMP coming right here. Not all 6 gets 5. Slick is the only one who makes it out alive. And we'll get another 5-man EMP on the other side. But Golo with this Primal is able to soak up a lot of this damage now. Staying alive, staying in Primal, not EMP'd.
Seen a lot of things done in desperation, but that has to be one of the biggest issues. Slick uses EMP at kind of the late end of the fight where everyone's hacked and they've lost a couple people, so now they don't have it coming up on this next fight. So they've lost a big win condition, and that can be an issue.
Exactly. So we'll see. This Diva Bomb trying to start things out. Remy gets hacked, unable to get back in mech, but able to get behind the rest of their team. Actually doesn't make it back in mech, but the flex with the Death Blossom coming in and just cleaning up the floor. 1 DPS, 1 tank down. Taijiru needs to get something. Got Yosemite, and that could be the start of a return, but it will not as the rest of the Pega Parrots end up gone.
What do you really want to say besides from Deflex did their job? They pretty much just started walking into people with the shotguns, and they do a major amount of damage. Luckily, look at Slick, builds up the EMP almost immediately in that fight, so it's pretty much as if nothing happened, but they're already coming back in. The Coalescence may sustain them.
Kizgo able to get a EMP on the 3, but it doesn't do anything. Just as you mentioned, he didn't get it on the Moira, who has Coalescence, so not able to push into that, and Kappatilism again just quick team wipe.
And that's how you want to be playing it. And Slick still has that EMP, so now they can pretty much either choose to slow dry fight this, or as they should, use that EMP, kind of win the fight off. You cancel out that EMP that After Hype's gonna have, and that's pretty much a sentence to bring this time bank closer into a one-fight scenario.
Slick needs to hit After Hype with this EMP, or needs to make sure After Hype is not able to help in this fight. So does hit After Hype. That's the one target you absolutely wanted. Golo's gonna go down. Deflex is gonna use Death Blossom. Says, you know what? You guys aren't killing these guys fast enough. Let me just clean it up.
And they're even going to stagger out Taiju, and that's a good, clean fight. They built up the 3 ultimates that they needed and brought this time bank. That stagger is also more massive than you think because we're entering into this type of time zone. So now it's kind of a reliance of how they're going to be using their ultimates. That Diva Bomb on the side of Kappatilism is absolutely crucial. However, I do think Kiddo has the opportunity to try to mess it up.
And Pepega have everything to win this fight with. So there goes Diva Bomb and Primal Rage from the side of Kappatilism, and practically everything else, including the Coalescence, on the side of Pepega Parrots. They will win this fight, and EMP onto the Diva for good measure. Don't know if you really needed that one, Kizgo.
It's kind of in a last fight scenario to where they have to have someone touch. That EMP really was just security to force everyone out of the fight, and now it's a race to see who touches the point and how they do anything at 95 seconds. They're really relying on this sound barrier to be the ult that helps them win.
I do think you could have saved it for right here, though, so Yosemite will actually get that sound barrier off, and because of that, Deflex is able to walk into the enemy team, gets the kill onto the Moira. While he goes down himself, your main support on the side of Pepega Parrots is gone now. And this is just going to be a hectic back and forth fight. Kenobi using that Coalescence to try to clear off the point. Does end up helping get Damien Dap. Point is now in charge of Kappatilism, and no one able to touch in time. Kappatilism.
That's going to be a bit unfortunate as we see Kappatilism win that out. Just were able to have that stall in the sound barrier. Really, I thought that EMP may have not been an issue if they were just more focused in, but they're able to just kind of figure it out and take the first lead.
Yes, we'll see one of Greek's shatters that kind of seals it. Seals one of these this end fight on Mecha base. Good game. Well, good round capitalism. Good second point, Pepega Parrots. I mean, it was 99 to 99. You can't get closer, really.
Yeah,
I
but
do think Kizco, you needed to hold that EMP. You literally EMP'd a diva that was already getting knocked out of mech. So, eh, I get
and
it's getting into last fight territory, but I just think it was a waste.
and that's gonna be an issue kind of going in. I think Pepega Parrots are now having an opportunity where they're moving in and they're getting prepared to kind of go up against Kappatilism. But Pepega Parrots still have a long way to go if they want to be cleaning up these fights and not making kind of small but yet crucial mistakes that are going to cost them fights. So going in later on, I think maybe they need a bit of kind of side switch, not side switch, but rather a different map or variation that they play. Make Kappatilism play uncomfortable in a way that they're not used to.
All right, so we will see where they go next. It will be a hybrid map, either Eichenwald, Kings Row, or Hollywood, and we both actually saw what we think was the first Hollywood pick of League Zero yesterday, or at least what I think might have been the first Hollywood pick of this season of League Zero.
Yeah, it was fairly close. There's a lot of opportunities to see what type of map because hybrid, it's often favored for the King's Row with that brawl. And I remember myself saying this similarly with Exodus. They kind of but Bacon Pets did not look clean in the brawl. They didn't look focused. They didn't look coordinated. So I think they kind of should avoid when it goes to King's Row. But I'm wrong a lot of the times, and this is one of them because we are going to be going to King's Row as they just have some confidence in the way that they want to play.
Also, we will see Pufa coming in for Damien Japp on the side of Pepega Parrots, but that looks like it will be the only substitution for either of these teams, as we are going to King's Row and just waiting on a few changes in the actual lobby. So we'll likely see the brawl. We're not going to see the flex play the Bastion unless you get that, like, we need to hold for 30 seconds. Exactly. Um, again, Pufa wasn't here earlier, so that might have been the other reason why we saw Damien Dapp in instead. Might be Pufa's part of that starting lineup that they want, but was not here earlier. So we'll see that switch. We'll see what happens. We are currently just waiting on Capitalism to ready up, and then we will be going into game.
Still have a bit more time, and I think honestly, there's nothing stopping you from using up that entire 5 minutes that we allow for coaching and kind of just planning things up. And it's kind of a good use of time. It's not the worst thing, really. So they're just giving themselves a break. However, there's not much. But I really don't see Pega Bears doing too much out of the ordinary. I truly expect them to just run out on that pure brawl, which is commonly just a Kree with a May, and then you obviously have the Rhine. You can always switch that up. It just depends on how you want to run it.
Now entering King's Row, initiating match.
So as we walk
All
out,
right.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, as we see, we're now going out onto King's Row. Still one of the best maps, at least when it comes to the player base. They always enjoy it. And honestly, I think there's a lot of room for them to kind of start making a comeback, bringing that momentum.
All right.
Ready for battle.
So we'll see. I'm just gonna ignore that. We'll see. Definitely on the defensive side, this similar McCree May composition that we saw run out on the mecha base portion for capitalism. We've got a pause coming in real quickly from the side of capitalism.
It's a bit unfortunate. Now they're going to be using their pause time bank for a little longer. But, I mean, we get an idea to see what they're running out on defense, which is not out of the ordinary. And I think Greek right now has been kind of a good look when it comes to the main tank. I've never seen him really play this too much, or maybe that's just me not paying too much attention. While I think Nova is still a better player, I think Greek has a good addition to the team as he's just been able to kind of control, make some more aggressive plays, and really kind of set himself in stone.
Exactly. And I just I don't know. Chat's weird. Everyone's talking in different languages. Anyways, we're getting ready. We're hopefully going to be getting ready to get back in here soon. Kings Row is going to be a. I want to. I want to see a Widowmaker. I'm gonna be real. I want to see a Widowmaker or a Hanzo or something to start off on this map. We haven't seen one.
Enough.
Remy said they were ready, so
Honestly, I think having a widow or a widow or any form of sniper is a really cool idea. Gives a lot of opportunities, gives you a lot of room for it, but not everyone wants to run it. It can be a struggle to continuously have that there, which is understandable, and I can, get behind it, but it's not really the worst thing to try it out. I think you can definitely force people to have some type of struggles.
all right. So we are waiting on Pepega Parrots to say they are ready and not continue to talk in how many languages is this? All right,
I'm
they
not
said they're ready.
All right, they're ready, so we're just gonna go back in. Look, man, I'm not proficient in my own language, so I'm not judging their own. That's out of my thing. It's probably Portuguese or something, some fake language that the gods had made. Just like the Blizzard lore, it's non-existent, but we're still seeing them come. And this is something I've been waiting for. I think Kenobi is an amazing flex DPS. By the way, I haven't really pointed this out, but I've always been a big fan of how Kenobi plays, and I think him on the Baptiste is a bit different from his Lucio playstyle, but it's a good opportunity.
All right. So one thing we are seeing is the Zarya and Doomfist actually coming out for the side of Pepega Parrots, with Kizco on the Doomfist and Daijuru on the Zarya. It's not doing too bad. You give your Doomfist a lot more position to play around with the Zarya bubble on top of him. Although it's going on the Reinhardt now. Slick gets an early pick onto the Doomfist, probably likely frozen up and unable to do anything. And Golo going down as well means we'll likely see Pepega Parrots fall back. They will attempt to do so. How many of them will get out alive is the real question, as Tajiru will not make it.
You've got to give some love onto Slick. Is getting some pretty consistent May walls that's allowing him to deny Golo from being able to get peel and move in. They do build up that window similarly up to Kenobi, but there's not much they can do besides from having to stop Slick from getting out these May walls or being able to stack together.
And there's one right there and just deletes Tajiru. Slick on the sidelines waiting to put that down, and it's just working. And it's so useful here on King's Row, where you really only have the one route to go to, unless you go up top.
So now when going into the fight, we see, compared to the 3 ultimates that Pepega Parrots are going to be building, they luckily get that Graviton Surge extremely early, and that's a massive ult to have for yourself when it comes to these fights. However, not only is that Blizzard built, but the Shatter, and that Shatter can be good enough to stop this fight before it really even happens.
We need to see what Remy will do against this Graviton Surge. The Flex gets off 3K Deadeye. I didn't even hear it go off. That's just going to end the fight right there.
absolutely beautiful. Not only did that Maywall give a moment for them to kind of isolate not only Golo but Poofa for a solid second, but they're all split around. They drop the Maywall and they just let it go. Deflect's able to hit that 3K and stop the fight before anything happens. So now Pega Parrots are coming in with a lot more resources, but they really
So
need to
it's gonna
start
do it
using
again.
it.
Alright, Slick's Blizzard does go off. Nothing to stop that. We will see Graviton Surge. Get in, Remy! Remy eats the Graviton Surge and gets a 2K without even using the Diva Bomb.
Oh, you really didn't need to use it. They lose Slick in the fight, so we're gonna see Yo go back and try to pick them up. However, they really only had to use 2 ultimates in that fight, and they're still coming out with 3. Ty is also gonna switch over to the Zarya. Just feel like that Graviton Surge Eaton is pretty much demoralizing, and they need to be using these resources more effectively if they want to try to be pushing in, because Greek's doing an amazing job of setting his boundaries. Never mind.
Ooh, that's a 4-man shatter. Greek involved in it too. The 70 able to try and do something with that sound barrier, able to keep everyone up a little bit longer, but it will be all for naught. Remy, the last one really here. The 70 will finally fall to the Doomfist, and there goes Remy. And this point will be captured. Slick's already backing off.
That's kind
They're
of...
not gonna fight this.
It's a really good shatter, but I felt like that was a little too obvious. I don't know how Greek just kind of let it slide. Maybe he's just giving them a respect or just couldn't react to it fast enough. But that was pretty obvious, and yet Golo still is able to get massive value off of it. So now the fight's not over. The Flex may have the high noon coming into this fight, but that's really the ultimate they're building up to. So it has a lot of advantage that they want to play aggressive with it.
Well, Deflex, as he is trying to use that. Oh, the Maywall to stop the Reinhardt from protecting the rest of his team. Excellently done. Golo last fight used that little B-hop shatter to kind of get around everything. But, I mean, one ultimate finishes it here.
I love the pace that they're playing at right now. It's where Pepega parents can't really adapt, nor are they setting up for it. And that's going to be a major issue, because they may have both support ults, but you're not going to get much out of it if the enemy team's already inside of you.
And another major issue we'll see is you're now at this archway. This is extremely hard to push through, although it looks like Pepega Parrots are getting there. A shatter from Golo actually hits nobody. Straight into the shield. We'll see Poofa using that sound barrier to try to keep her team alive. And, well, Pepega Parrots win this fight, not only. I mean, that's a 2-man shatter. I still think Pepega Parrots win this. Remy using that Diva Bomb, trying to stop it. And Daijudu using it kind of just to seal the deal.
Ufa, had a really good sound barrier right there. Not only did it peel out for their team to be able to push for a bit farther, but it gives them that sustain. Now the payload's going to continuously move. They have 2 more ultimates, and there's room to improve on those charges. But their momentum and the way that they're moving, initiating with these ultimates, is forcing Kappatilism to play back, which is what you really need. But now they have the Blizzard. It's all up for Taiju to kind of get revenge out.
Emerald using his first Deadeye of the match doesn't get much. It actually does get Remy out of mech. That could be a huge thing. We're going to see in the back line is Kizgo and a 5-man shatter from Golo, but nothing's being done. The immortality field, the defense matrix, the shielding, the healing is going all out on the side of Kappatilism. You had 5 people shattered and a Doomfist in the backline and still didn't get a kill.
And that's gonna hurt. The fight is still slowing down, but it seems even after all the ults they popped out, they denied the mail. They can't finish it. And now it's left on 20 seconds to stagger onto the Diva. This is not looking good for the rest of the Pepega Parrots.
Greek was charged to get back to the point. I was about to mention, you don't have to kill a Taijidu there. You don't have to kill him that early, but kind of caught him in the charge to get back to the point. We will see Poofa. I don't know if Poofa touched. Kizgo will. And a shatter into a shield will just end up in nothing. Greek just saying, this is goats, right?
Yeah, their proper usage of abilities, and I would say a fair bit of luck and a fair bit of mistakes on Pepega Parrots' side is what leads them into winning out that fight, and that's a lot of kind of props, because that's barely kind of capping on the second point, which is harder on the attacking side because their respawns are a good 6 years away, but you're still somewhat even, as you have now a sizable win condition, and it's still 100% possible.
I mean, yeah, both teams definitely have a win condition. Capitalism, of course, get to the box. Pepega Parrots, full hold. Because I don't realistically see you stopping capitalism from getting it to a bit before point B if you don't full hold them.
No, I think even if they don't manage the full hold'em, Streets phase is with so many ways and variants that they 100% could try to stop them on that area before it reaches very close, but you never know, there's still room. It does look like we're going to be seeing them run out, specifically pick parents back onto the brawl. They have room for change swabs. I don't think they'll be running out on this monkey. However, it's completely possible. I've seen capitalism run worse.
All right, and this is capitalism in spawn we are looking at. So they might Remy's okay. No, Remy's switching back to the diva. So we will see a mirror here, and the important thing to look at is going to be Kizgo and see does Kizgo get a wall up here somewhere to kind of split this team. Well, After Hype's dead. That was unfortunate. I think just got a headshot through everything. The Flex is going to take another one down, and, well, Capitalism win the fight.
It was not only just incredibly unlucky that we see somebody get picked out first on the side of Pepega Parents, but it's even worse because they couldn't play around it and try to fight back. You can 100% win a 5v6, but it's mostly reliant on how you're using those abilities, yet they just couldn't get a good room in it. And now look how much space they're taking over with their shield. Greek may be walled off, but they still have the maid there to help out.
Is Greek walled off, or is Golo walled off with them? Looks like it's going to be that second one. Golo is walled off with Greek. And your forward holding position that you could have had is just gone now.
Yeah, that's just kind of incredibly unlucky, I have to say. So now when they're moving in, it's 5 minutes, and this is already kind of at the halfway point of Streets phase. They have a bunch of ultimates. Golo has to bring out his alpha chatness if he wants to be able to shut down the rest of capitalism. I fully believe in him. He needs to enable his team to build up their ultimates and try to sustain this fight throughout it.
All right, he's got that shatter. He's got to try to find a good time. Here goes High Noon plus Immortality Field, so Deflex is going to try to get something done. Only breaks the shield. We got a shatter coming in from Greek that hits nothing, but does it really need to hit anything when Slick's Blizzard has frozen everyone?
Well, the shatter just feels like kind of a security check. They want to make sure that they can kind of mow down everyone. You don't want staggers going into this fight. You just want to stop people from being able to touch. And it's really up to the Reinhardt or Diva, because Poofa's not going to make it there in time.
Golo's not going to touch?
And it looks like nobody's really going to make it there in time, as capitalism, it seems the Poofa change wasn't enough as they take a 2-0 lead. But remember, this isn't the first time that capitalism has taken a 2-0 lead and then ended up losing off of it.
Yeah. Well, if you're capitalism, you're hoping this isn't like last week. If you're Pepega Parrots, you're hoping it is, at least for capitalism.
Can feel that bit of frustration on you. You know, honestly, I want to be seeing a bit more
Yeah.
coming out of Pepega Parents. I feel like they have the key points. At times, they look good, but they're not really finishing things out, and that's always going to be a bigger struggle.
And kind of realistically, that first point was just unlucky. It just happens your only central healer gets two tapped between everything. Could Afterhype have been playing somewhere else? Maybe, but as no one ever expects that to happen. No one ever thinks that their healer is going to get two tapped in the 2 pixel space between your tanks or something like that. So
Yeah, at that
I
time,
almost
it's just a bit of positioning that kind of causes you.
Right. I almost want to say that was a bit unlucky more than anything else, but that still doesn't excuse the rest of the map, the rest of the mispositioning. You know there's a May on the other team. You can't just break off from the rest of your teammates and expect to receive all the support ever, especially into a choke point.
Makes sense. So,
Uh,
you know what? I'm going to fully throw capitalism out of the game because I'm gonna put on my Pepega parents hat. I fully believe in the reverse sweep. I'm gonna have a little faith in them, and if I have to, I'll become a simp. I'm ready to bring them back and kind of give them the opportunity because I feel like they may be just warming up. They finally started sweating off. They had their opportunity, and next up we're going into escort. And I feel when they had room to play and make those space, even if capitalism are kind of playing faster than them, they had moments where they could slow them down, and they forced them to play a bit more uncomfortably, which is what gave them the moment to win.
I mean, Pepega Parrots didn't look too bad on their attack phase of Kings Row after they grabbed the point. They moved pretty well. They didn't really lose a fight until they were stopped at the end there, and that was kind of just a brawly fight at the end. Could have really gone either way. So definitely an escort map probably looks a bit more into Pepega Parrot's wheelhouse.
And it's
We're
gonna be
just waiting to see which one.
a lot of different opportunities to see what they try while we're waiting out for the map. However, I love escort. For anyone who watches me as consistent, I will never say I love assault. Absolutely.
Who likes assault? Yes, I want to play 16 Overwatch.
Hey, I think that's completely a possible victory, and you underestimate it.
What was it? Who was it? Didn't SI not found or someone actually test to see how many points you could feasibly get
I
in an
try.
assault game mode?
I try not to think about it because think about it, those may become in reality. So, as we're just waiting for these guys to just come out, what are you really hoping for coming out of Pepega Parents? Besides from just maybe them working better and playing better, like if you saw an individual player that you think step up, who do you think?
After hype or Golo? I would have to say it has to be after hype or Golo. You get a lot of situations, and I'm gonna be real. After hype and Kenobi, you're kind of standard burst or standard support characters don't really get a lot of attention because if they're doing their job right, you shouldn't notice them doing things wrong. Like if you're doing their job right, you shouldn't notice them. But I kind of keep noticing after hype getting picked or out of position or even questionable stuff. I mean, I remember one of the amp matrices on what was it on Mecha Base where he placed it in a corner. And it's like, well, now your team can't even fire through it to attack the enemy team. The enemy team backs up 2 feet and it becomes useless. So a couple positioning things, and then I mentioned Golo a lot of times against this May, just running in with no one, getting caught out.
They could definitely. But the next map we are moving into is going to be a bit of a classic. Not anything too different. It's all
Most definitely. This is an interesting map where you can have that kind of where you kind of have that you can choose to hold in the upper region at the beginning, or you can choose to hold at the door and kind of have that guaranteed second fight, but then you lose that upper region depending on what happens. So you get a couple different ways people tend to try to hold this map, especially on this first point.
A lot of different things used to be able to kill the bots, but now these teams have an opportunity. Will Kappatilism finally get their first win of the regular season? Or will Pepega Parrots be able to shut them down and bring it back in a reverse sweep type of scenario? That's for you to decide if you finish watching the video stream. And honestly, I think we might be seeing an interesting competition, not only coming out of Pepega Parrots, but one coming out of Kappatilism. They're running out on this Ball Diva, giving themselves a lot of mobility, a lot of burst, and a lot of ability to kind of not really die. It gives them kind of that small sustain while making Kenobi a pocket healer that they need to somewhat protect that time.
And we'll also see Slick is on that Pharah, and we might see Kizgo roll out on it too. I want to see Emerald. Can you get any early picks with this Widow? Unable to, so we'll probably see Emerald switch off of it. Just go into something a little bit more standard. Yep, going on to the Ashe. But the real question is, who has air superiority here?
Honestly, I think you could have maybe tempted out with the Widowmaker, because Ashe isn't as good without a Mercy, and the Mercy's on the Pharah. So I think if you have Widow, you put a lot more pressure not only onto the Pharah, but to every other squishy.
Right. I agree. Well, Golo says, who needs a sniper or a Mercy? I'm just Pharah. I'm just Orisa. I do everything anyways.
They're going to be able to push that fight out, even get a small type of stagger onto Yo. While they take in positions, it looks like their comp isn't going to help them out, so they even make a couple switches.
Taishiru got knocked off. So that might actually force Pepega Parrots to back off. Yeah, it'll give enough room as the flex goes down to, that was probably a direct hit. Alright, Pepega Parrots might have this. A pretty good Amp Matrix actually from After Hype. Like to see that. Right after I criticize not having good Amp Matrixes, gets an actually pretty good one. And even though we see, I think, I heard an ultimate.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing. Yeah, Pepega Parrots are managing to bring that out. We saw Kizgo actually. He goes from behind, tries to barrage, but he barrages a little too close to the pole, so he couldn't move his mouse without dying, and that's what happened with him. It was pretty sad, I do have to say, but
I was about to say, I thought I heard an ultimate, but I do not hear the rest of it, so.
Yeah. So the staggers, well, the stall is going to come out. Now they have to push through this double shield. They're refusing to run any form of main tank, rather with these kind of, this is where the Sigma wants to play the main tank role, and they're going to be trying to play aggressive towards it.
Golo is on this sideline completely alone. Taishiru gets hooked through Golo's shield. Okay. Anyways, is quickly back. You have that Mercy to kind of get that resurrection. We'll have to see if the same treatment is given to Greek. It is not. We'll have a Valkyrie actually from Damien Dapp, who was subbed back in for Pufa in between the maps. And again, Pepega Parrots win, and I think Taishiru and Kizgo might have been the only two who have died on this team.
I could definitely be wrong, but they're going to be able to capture this point. Honestly, they don't really have the ability to stop just this pure burst type of composition that they're running out on, and it's causing them to make these mistakes to where they're not being able to push out. Remy may have the Gravitic Flux, but it's rather, who are you going to push that out on the Orisa who has gold? Are you going to try and focus out that Baptiste who has immortality? There's just so much sustainability and safety precautions that there isn't much you can focus on without trying to burst them down quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the Roadhog is just going to heal himself up after he lands, too. So, not a lot of really good targets for this. As Kizgo will get a kill, will fall himself, but will get a kill. And Pepega Parrots haven't stopped. And Kizgo's just going to get rezzed. I think every single kill has been rezzed for the side of Pepega Parrots.
They've never had to not worry about not being res. Greek is going to switch over to the Orisa, give them a bit more room. So maybe this is where they're deciding to stop, you know, do a little bit of trolling as these ultimates come out.
All right, Emerald will get out of that Graviton Flux pretty nicely and will get healed back up. Here comes the Bob. He's actually in a pretty good spot in the back line where he'll be a bit of an issue for a second, giving the rest of Pepega Parrots the chance to kind of reposition. But they'll back off. I think they are waiting for someone to come out of spawn. They are. It is the Torbjorn.
Well, hey,
As
you may sleep on the Torbjorn, but Torbjorn can be one of the best picks in the game if you just know how to properly play it right. Not only does it give you a turret to try to work things out, you get a little tiny extra character, but Molten is a massive ability.
how did they not kill Afterhype? Afterhype is alone on this left side of the map and just gets ignored.
After Hype's just a
That
little
could
too
have been
hype.
that could have been an easy kill, but like exactly Afterhype is too hype for them to want to kill him.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, as I like to say, and Slick building up that Dragons again gives them a really big room to kind of snipe them out, but that window, after I placed a little too far.
A little bit too far, but as you're pushing forward, it'll be useful. Golo going down to the Dragon Strike is not what you want, but again, hi, I'm Mercy, I res my teammates. And as the Flex goes down, Yosemite unable to resurrect him, just dead as well. And this might be the push. Torbjorn going in hammer mode against the Sigma, and with Greek falling, you come back on stall picks. You can't even come back on stall picks.
No, I think
Paired.
this may be the opportunity Pepega Parrots have been waiting for. They took so long to switch out onto a composition that was kind of bunker and sustain. They didn't really have the resources while the enemy team did. And look, they won on the Torbjorn. The turrets helped break the shields. And unfortunately, I did see Greek trying to shoot through their own window that Kenobi had popped out, but there was a shield that Golo threw that was blocking it, which is the most fundamentally big brain play I've ever seen.
Yeah, Pepega Parrots finished the map with 213, which is huge because this is Rialto. The map does not normally get finished. One does not simply finish Rialto. And they'll come back out on this exact composition.
Make a fair point. Definitely has some room for different opportunities, different areas to what they can try. But more importantly, I wonder what we're going to be seeing them. We even see Greek and Remy actually swap roles right now. Greek wanting to play the Sigma. And I don't know how much of a change that's going to be, because I think the bunker kind of double shield composition that Pepega Parrots are running out on is so strong, and I think they're doing an amazing job, and that's really what they have to do if they want to keep holding it out. And we need to be seeing kind of Kappatilism take them a bit more seriously if they want a chance to stop them from holding.
All right, one of the big questions here is going to be Deflex and Emerald. Do either of them get an early pick? No, there are shields and a cart everywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of the issue of double shield. It slows the game down, but it is a very good comp to run. It's really all up to Slick to get the first pick. That's why you play the Echo, and that's why you give him a Mercy Pocket.
Or you can just let the Torbjorn do everything. That could be the other thing from Kizgo. And Slick getting some good damage out, but Remy was the first to fall below half health in this sort of ongoing fight. Excellent positioning, actually, from the side of both teams.
Yeah, one playing underneath is going to deny one team from doing damage, while the other team has full control over the map, and they might be able to push the payload, but they're having issues walking in, so we need to be seeing them build up an ultimate on the side of Kappatilism, and they pull out Greek, so now this is kind of a room for someone to die.
Exactly, this would be a perfect opportunity to take down someone, but the only thing taken down is the turret twice now. Ow. After hype burning, I think Damien Zap going low, but able to kind of work with this immortality field, and Kizgo will get two.
And we're going to be seeing Afterhype use the window first, and that was the win condition right there. It was just a tiny bit extra damage, and not only kills Remy, but deflects, forces everyone back. And they're not really doing enough damage on the side of Kappatilism to be able to kind of push through. They're sitting there, and they're poking. Kenobi had his window up first and decided not to use it, possibly because they just wanted to get a bit more charge, but you need to be popping these ultimates. It's first come, first serve.
Emerald almost got Slick out of the sky, was one body shot away from doing so, We will see a Bob come out to kind of keep this left side of the cart um, unable to be used, and with a Molten Core, that'll at least stall the fight. Can't really fight on the cart. And Slick goes onto the Sigma with the duplicate. I don't know how good of a decision that was. It does get Kizgo and Taijutsu low, and Emerald will actually be the one to fall. Taijutsu will go fall next, so I guess it works out. It's a little questionable because you didn't have your team there, but apparently Slick doesn't necessarily need anyone other than the Mercy.
That fight had no reason of going into Kappatilism's favor. Slick pops an ult late out, the team was staggered, and yet they still put pressure on to Taiju and finish them out, and that's just a team coordination not being on their side, and now look how much room they have to re-engage.
Alright, Taijutsu's Graviton Flux gets no one, I believe, and we'll see that both bongos come out. Golo and his bongo will fall. Golo will come back up. Remy's bongo will fall next. Bob is here for the side of Kappatilism. They want that 7th member to do what he can before he leaves. And now we've got the Bob on the side of... Oh my gosh, Pepega Parrots. Emerald, what are you doing? 4K, 3 of them with the Bob. And Pepega Parrot's going to stabilize this point.
That's exactly what you need. They brought out the Bob, they had the last minute stall, and they stopped Pepega Parrots from being able, they stopped Kappatilism from being able to fully finish out this map, so they have to switch over to Ball, and it's Remy's shot to build up those mines while Slick and Greek try to kind of heal in, get those picks. It's their job, and they're not fully being able to do this. The bunker is just stopping them from the way they want to play.
You have 15 seconds. This is the last fight for this point. You either get this point here or you lose this map, and you start looking like you might have another reverse sweep on your hands. Deflects the first one down. That's the resurrect gone. Yosemite can't get anyone back up. And that's an issue because Slick's gone now. Greek is low, has to use that gravitic flux. Try to get something done. But Kizgo's turret able to take down Remy. Your minefield isn't there. Greek is your tank. And as much support as he's getting, he's not getting enough. Half health, gone. Bob's not on the point. Kenobi has to get on the point. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's gonna cost them more than just a map. That's gonna cost a bit of dignity, as Pepega Parrots now might be bringing in some momentum. They not only win the map in a pretty good series, but they kind of full hold. And that is a big enough way to force Kappatilism to realize that you're still a threat. You may not be the best right now, but you're something new, and you're something waiting to wake up.
Don't call it a comeback. Pepega Parrots. You might reverse sweep this, and if you're Kappatilism, you gotta be sweating bullets here. Shades of last week coming back.
Yeah, you get a bit of PTSD flashbacks, just like me. And that's really going to be costing you a bit of pride or whatever. But on the bright side, we are going over to a 2CP. And 2CP, or Assault, whatever you want to call it, that gives you more than enough room to try to win things out, try to bring it into a very close situation. And I feel what caused Kappatilism was not only because they look very bad on the double shield, is they seem to just prefer very aggressive comps where they can ignore pretty much the entirety of the enemy team and just walk into them. Say hi, family dinner, run a Christmas festival. I don't know.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, I don't know if they can hear me. We might need to check the stream, make sure they can't hear me. But
They're 3
after
minutes
Hype
behind.
doing it, after Hype placing those, doing a lot better job with most of those amp matrices and Golo. I don't know if it's just because Golo went to the Orisa or if it's because Golo had a bit of a change of heart, but working a lot more with this team.
It's kind of what double shield enables you to do, and it gives you that advantage that you'll need half the time because you're not pressured about positioning. Rather, you're more focused on just sitting together. I mean, double shield is mostly positioning, so don't call me out on how wrong that sentence was, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Yes, you do. So
We're just waiting for these teams come out with some form of idea, backup plan, and Assault can come up with differing ideas. Not only do you have Hanamura and Volskaya, but I do believe we have Temple of Anubis, which Temple doesn't get played often, but I feel each and every one of those maps is really easy to get full held on or full hold.
It is. I mean, you really have two different ways assault is done. Either some team gets full hold, or you play it for like 6 rounds. So we'll see. I'm thinking this is looking more like a full hold kind of game. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I think it's looking a bit more like a full hold kind of game.
Yeah, it gives room into kind of to an idea of what they might want to run. And one of the worst maps people always talk about is Hanamura. So it's going to be a pleasant surprise for the viewers to know that we are going straight over to Hanamura.
Exactly. Hope you like pink. Yes, no, yeah. Right, or you're gonna win it in overtime. One of the two. Just because of the way the overtime spawns work. So, waiting to see which side Pepega Parrots want to have up first. Doesn't look like they didn't have Pufa in that last map, so we literally streamed the game.
My mic was muted the whole time. Nobody could hear me, and nobody realized that the moment. That is embarrassing, but I said,
Wait,
nope. Yeah, on stream. Nobody could hear me when
like
we were on.
the entire set of maps, or
I don't
just
know about the last map. I know I was talking beforehand, but that's neither here or there. Acronator said this could be kind of scuffed, so I'm using that in my favor. We also are going to get a side swap, so the Pega Parrots want to go out on the defense, which gives them room to install.
all right? And about to say dividing set, it can be scuffed too.
And it
So
gives you that advantage.
yes, we will see the Pepega Parrots on the defense. Both teams just getting the because the Blizzard client doesn't let you just change everyone who's one color to the other color. You have to manually go in and change all the spectators. So
Uh,
we're just waiting for that for that to happen. But other than that, we're
which
ready to go in. And wouldn't surprise me if these teams are ready to go in.
I wouldn't be surprised too. It's definitely a type of interesting scenario. Just because Blizzard decide you can't switch colors. If you're not lobby host, original lobby host, you can't change the name, so it kind of causes a bit of an issue. But it's not the worst thing in the world, as I'd like to say. So when we're going into Hanamura, I think this gives into different scenarios. You could be the type of people who want to just run out on a Junkrat double shield, which I think Pepega Parents really need to stake on. They looked amazing on it. While I think you could just go with the Sim TP for Kappatilism. They look much better on very aggressive comp.
All right. I I want to see some interesting stuff here. I mean, I say interesting, but I just don't want to see the standard brawl that we all see. I want to see some Torbjorn. I want to see some Pharah. I'm not gonna see some Pharah, but I want to. I want to see some. What else do I want to see? I want to see some interesting stuff.
Well, you can always just take illegal drugs if you wish for to be able to see some things. But this is an opportunity for Kappatilism not only to fall this out, but to end their curse. Rather, and the worst part is Rocket's gone. So if they win and ends up going to a map 5, not even gonna break that curse. The Rocket is actually 0-10 currently when it comes to score lines of map. That's just a little fun fact while everyone to kind of get in, like to take high tide. But we are kind of just giving it a second, giving it a bit of time. Might go to a break because they are taking a bit of an area to where I don't think we have anything much to talk about.
Well, Cap was ready. Pepega was just waiting on Kizgo, I believe, and Kizgo's back. So we're just gonna,
I'll
yeah, we're
try to
just
nudge them in the right direction.
right. Don't answer that intel.
Now, listen. They're threatening me right now, alright? My hair is the only thing that I have to me as we go into Hanamura. I don't think people realize, but this is just my entire personality, besides from my bad English.
All right. Anyways, we're going to be getting into game. We're here in Hanamura. We got 10 seconds till we see the teams.
Yeah, I would love to definitely see Ifara, as you brought up before, in a Junkrat, because I feel like this is what Pepega Parrots looked strongest on. They looked really great when it came to compositions that had big bursts and big spam that slowed down the areas. We even see them wanting to run out on this double shield and have the Farah, which is going to help them out a lot compared to Kappatilism, maybe just running out a pure type of bunker rather than using a composition with high damage and high value. They're trying to be more defensive and force the enemy team to come in their zone to be picked off from.
Listen, I just want to see more people run the flanking bastion on defense that we saw Avoided run a couple years ago in EU contenders
We don't talk about
with
avoided.
bastion main. I just want to see more people run that. Can we please? Anyways, we will see that Pharah and Ashe, this composition that worked so well on Rialto coming in from Pepega Parrots. And this Sim Mei that we see quite a bit for running on Hanamura, especially with this early teleport. They'll teleport to the right room to kind of negate a bunch of that damage that they might take as they go up top. Oh, Slick couldn't make the jump.
This strategy
there
is
he is.
kind of a hit or miss because you're putting yourself in a very closed off area. Look at Kizgo. He's already on 42% and now they're looking for the TP, but it's in a weird area where they're wasting all of their resources just to get to the enemy.
Oh, that was a huge dynamite too. So Greek is kind of burning a little bit, and Deflex is going to get Emerald. That's going to be the first kill for Kappatilism. Greek stunned, down. Golo as well, Tajiru as well. Emerald coming back up, but I don't know if I want to be back up in this mess.
Well, on the bright side, wow, we do see Damien try to pull out the whip, try to pull out the pistol, and Afterhype's really the only person left alive onto the point.
Oh, he gets the DMAC.
Yeah, the issue stemmed from the fact that Kizgo didn't get much value off of the Pharah besides from that poke phase, and you're relying on the Pharah to not only get a bunch of burst damage into that fight, but to kill at least a couple people before they start killing you. And Emerald ends up kind of coach gunning a bit too far and boop, and then it just costs them everything. So now when it comes on to this next fight, they need to work and get these advantages on. Their composition is really good, especially because Remy is on the Diva now, so they're switching things up. You have the advantage, and you can try so many things out.
Remy was on the D. Oh my gosh. That literally, that's like where Pharahs sit. Come on.
Yeah, that's not somewhere you should really, not be paying attention to. I feel that they should understand at least that a Pharah will always look to barrage, especially if they might want to switch. We see Damien going over to the Brigitte, and now they have a Torbjorn, so the family duos here, and their entire comp is now meant to slow them down, use a massive amount of poke to waste their resources, and this may be their one weakness, because when Kappatilism can't play fast, they start getting frustrated.
Exactly. We actually see a teleport behind onto this roof behind point. And with the Flex's barrier coming out, this is a very, very bad position for Pepega Parrots to be in until that barrier falls. It finally does. Tajiru able to get Greek with the Graviton Flux. But a Blizzard coming out means actually Slick's Blizzard doesn't lead to much, at least the Golo falling, but again, defender's advantage on spawns. I think Pepega Parrots have this hold here. They just need to take down these last two members of Kappatilism,
Yeah,
which they do.
You don't really need to think about it because it's the exact scenario that I explained from before. If you do not kill them immediately, they will come back, they don't have anything to worry about. And an issue came was that Blizzard was more of a stop, hey, don't come to my point. But the Bob was still there, doing an immense amount of damage. Remy leaves their mech and gets picked out by it. And that's a big issue because you lost most of your team. You don't have the respawns to be able to come back. And now Golo has a bongo, so they have a majority of the damage for this upcoming push.
There goes the bongo. That thing's gonna get destroyed real fast. It's in the enemy team right now. But Golo able to get quite a bit of damage locked in. Greek will fall both. Baptiste actually going down. And Emerald doing some work onto Remy, onto both of the tanks. Golo now here with a break. And again, I mentioned Golo has having issues working with his team, getting pushed up with his team. When you have a break, that's a little bit easier to not worry about.
Yeah, I think they would have been a bit more fine if Kenobi just didn't, unfortunately, get picked out. Luckily, around this time, they have some new ultimates, but they want to stick on to this Symmetra, which I understand the idea going with the Symmetra, but the teleporting has not been working out. You haven't been getting much value on it. And now, Kizco has Molten Core, and Molten Core is going to be able to shut this down no matter what they do, because it just stops them from moving
Here it
out.
comes. Well, you have to push forward. They decided to just push forward through it. They don't care where the Molten Core is if they can just not stand on it. Afterhype gets killed with a shatter from Greek. And with a beat drop from Yosemite and the Ant Matrix, Kappatilism have every advantage in this fight besides spawns. Bob coming out. He's not in the Blizzard. This could be the change they need. Afterhype in Spawn just getting kills. He put the Ant Matrix in Spawn to get those kills. If it works, and I think it worked.
I think the sad part about this all was not only Afterhype getting a majority of his team's kills, but rather that Greek spent half the time trying to kill Damien, and that leaves a team without a shield, and then slowly they get picked off to where they used every ultimate they had in their back pocket, and they get nothing for it. Barely even that second tick. They almost managed to catch it, but they really don't have the time to kind of switch things up and try to win it out. They really need to be playing faster. Luckily, Pepega Parrots don't really have much of a bank when it comes to the next fight.
All right, so Slick has moved over to the Hanzo, and Deflex moves over to the McCree to kind of give him a bit more sustaining and stopping power. Emerald, though, saying, you know what, this is still my point. And now you don't have to worry about Greek hard focusing Damien if Damien's dead. You do have to worry about Emerald just free firing on your entire team because no one notices he's up top.
Yeah.
As an Ashe.
Oh, that's not looking good. They just try to ignore the rest of the team and just go after the tanks. And while they do get initially Damien is not the person you really care about. It's a Brig. I mean, when they have Rally, sure, or during the stall. But now you're less than a minute, and you really only have Shadow to make this up for. So, they need a game plan. Because Pepega Parrots look definitely scary with their ult economy at the moment.
30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I do not want to go in. There's another Molten Core, and this time, he's with the team. He's gonna burn Greek. This is exactly what you wanted. It splits up the team. Both DPSs are unable to be with the rest of their team, and Yosemite gets picked off early. And Slick, they can't get healed. The Flex and Slick can't get healed. They're just gonna die here no matter what happens.
Oh, it's still a kind of sticky situation where nobody can touch, and they got pressured off the point. Greek was so scared to just touch, and that's gonna cost them only at 64%. No funny numbers in the chat as we see Pepega Parrots getting a really good type of win condition. However, it's still not over. Kappatilism can 100% hold this and stop them from doing anything, but this is a pretty much coin flip when it comes to 2C.
I think Golo should be playing Orisa a bunch more. Again, that we saw that at the very end. What stopped everyone from coming onto point? Everyone thought Greek was going to go onto point. Golo said, you know what? I have this mini Graviton Surge. I'm just going to use it, and no one able to touch. It caught Greek.
And that's gonna cost them a bit. Now people are probably shaking in their boots if you're a fan of Kappatilism, like, oh no, can they do it? Is the curse continued? While the Pepega Parrot fans are going to be screaming out for them, and I am too. I believe in you. You got to give some hope for the underdogs at times, because this match has become more entertaining than I expected it to be.
Exactly. So,
Running out.
on to the actual compositions.
Yeah, they're relying on the Sim TP, and I have a big critique on this. I feel like the Sim Teleporter is not a good strategy because everybody runs it. So I feel that the defending side 100% should predict it and know how to play against it. And really all you need to do is either wall it off, predictably charge it, break the teleporter and they stagger. There's a lot of options you can do, and if you're not playing different ways with the teleporter or breaking expectations, you're not going to be doing anything.
They might be. They're going straight to point with this teleporter. They're going straight to the high ground. Is everyone able to get through? Yes, they are. So they're already on point, and now you've forced Capitalism to be the attacking side. And this might work. Capitalism is going low. No more immortality field. And so many members are at half health. Kenobi having to work overtime to keep his team up, but Golo solo, having to hold this shield up, having to get healing. Does get it. Yosemite is the first to fall, but that Ant Matrix is the first up as Shatter Golo sees a giant window and just shatters straight through it.
They have awoken! I love the fact that once Kenobi had used that window, they understood their win condition. They hid behind the bell and they took their time. They didn't rush about anything because Emerald just gonna rack up a lot of damage by building off these shields. And if they're not pushing in, if Capitalism aren't trying to in, they have nothing to worry about. So while the Flex may have this high noon, it's about getting something with it. And Emerald's window, oh, that's gonna be doing a lot.
Oh, they're teleporting straight to point. All of them, and that ice wall's up. They're gonna get a tick. They got a tick for free. And that's huge, because if you do that one more time, you win. All right, here it is, the Flex with the high noon, but there's a giant Symmetra wall in the way, and now there's an ice wall in the way, unable to do anything, and all of the kills are going to the side of Pepega Parrots. Afterhype is the first to fall for Pepega Parrots. We got a Blizzard coming out. Kizgo's hoping to get something done. The map's over.
I can't believe it! And we're going to a map 5, everyone! Pepega Parrots not trying to let you down, trying to bring it in as they're going to be able to win out the map. They pressured off and they managed to get just enough of the important stagger picks that causes Capitalism to not have the respawn advantage nor the ability to touch point. So as we see Kizgon go get this barrage in, we're going back to control as a way to end out this map. And at this point, do you feel that this is an opportunity to where these teams, well, one of these teams might struggle? And I think you know who I'm referring to.
Yes, because now you're terrified. You had every chance to win this, and now you're going back to the same situation you were in last week. Capitalism should be worried. But that's the issue. Because if you're worried, you play worse. But you should be worried. But you need to not be worried.
The idea just
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
The idea just comes into mindset. Going back onto control can be a bit of a sticky situation because you cannot run the same thing as you ran before. But it does give room to kind of pick a new map. We never go back to the same thing, nor do we have a set map. Rather, we allow them to pick a map that they haven't played for. And they're going to be picking one of the most popular maps to try to send this out on, which may give them the best opportunity to bring this back. And can you announce what that is?
It will be Lijiang Tower.
Lijiang Tower is one of the best maps, I'd say, when it comes to not only control, but in the game. It is a very popular one specifically because it is a heavily brawl-oriented type of map. You can try to run out on the, Symmetra, which is most popular in a Junkrat. You can have a Doomfist. It doesn't give much opportunity to a double shield, rather a dive or a brawl, and this is now more in Capitalism's favor. This is the type of way they want to play.
All right. We are going to go to a quick break. We will be right back. Pepega Parrots and Capitalism, Map 5, Lijiang Tower, coming in I'm thinking like a minute and a half, so stick around.
Let's give it up as we are back. Getting a bit of preparation, just had to kind of fix up a couple audio issues while we wait for just the complete R. But I'm excited. I don't think we've ever expected this to happen. I know before the match, we sat here and we talked about the idea of Pepega Parrots bringing this to a map 5, but it wasn't really that type of profit area, but we were absolutely wrong. We were absolutely dumbfounded and bamboozled. But now we're going on to a specifically brawl teleporting area, which does have room for a double shield, but it doesn't have much room for it as well.
I'm wondering if we might still see it. Of course, this is the perfect map where we see a lot of Symmetra. We might see some Pharah. So that's probably what we're gonna see here.
Yeah, I think they work well with these compositions, and maybe the comms on one side are just kind of dying out, and that's what's happening in Kappatilism. I know while talking to a couple of ex-players and players, that's the repeated issue is comms. They don't have the momentum, they don't always have someone talking, and that can slow things down. Be a big issue right now. But look at what they're wanting to run on the side of Pepega Parrots. The double shield with the Pharah, it's a lot of poke while defense, so it works out to slowing down the comp, but being able to burst someone down and finish things out.
Is Tajitu actually coming out on this Reinhardt? They are. So we've seen Tajitu play a lot of the Sigma and Orisa, but we haven't seen them play a lot of the Reinhardt, and that may be why. Tajitu gets taken out early, and Pepega Parrots are gonna just back off. Gizgo trying to just see if he can get a pick onto anyone early, but unable to.
And that's 100% Pepega Parrots' fault. They knew that they weren't going to be making it faster because they chose a Pharah Mercy. They didn't have Lucio. So I don't know why they still tried to teleport with the disadvantage.
Exactly, but we will see Tajitu move back to the Sigma, so that could be a bit of a boon. Gizgo gets the flex down, so there's your shield pressure gone. Golo solo in the immortality field, not able to get healing enough. Even that, the Amp Matrix was used in that fight too, and so was the Symmetra wall. I don't even know where the Amp Matrix was.
Yeah, the sound barrier. The Amp Matrix was used right after they kind of had immortality. They're trying to put in some burst damage. But Yo used the sound barrier, gave them sustain, was able to push in. So Emerald's going to go out on the Ashe. But I don't know how well this composition is good to breaking in rather than solely just defending. Especially because Slick has the Blizzard and Sigma is really hard when it comes to eating ults.
Well, remember, this is the composition that helped them so much. Emerald on this Ashe has been popping off both on Rialto and on Hanamura, and gets the first kill to pop off again. Everyone from Kappatilism is so low. You can just clean this up if you're Pepega Parrots, and that's what you need to do while you have the advantage. It's a 3-on-6.
I don't know how many times I need to say this, but you don't let this happen. If you're Pepega Parrots, Kappatilism, you don't let this happen. While the fight is still somewhat in a messy place, there is room for you to finish this out.
There is, but with Greek falling, Yosemite uses that sound barrier. Justice does not rain from above for long. So Kizgo's gone, but Emerald gets a bob out, and that could be the very ultimate that Pepega Parrots need to turn this fight back.
It was more than the opportunity they needed. That Bob and the Gravitic Flux were the ultimates that they needed to invest. It gives them that room to win. 99% they've stopped, so they have an opportunity. And more importantly, this is the composition that they needed to hold on. This is what it's meant for, is to stop. You play inside the house, and you don't allow anyone to walk in. It's all about relying on Brawl and forcing the enemy team to invest while counter-investing.
So we will see Golo once again working this kind of team, this position with his team. Amp Matrix comes out from Kenobi and After Hype. After Hype's is more on an off angle, I believe, to keep his team healed up. It will be, and you have actually Kizgo on this off angle, just raining in damage. Yosemite gets a double boop. That could be what you need, and that will be what you need.
All right.
Kappatilism, take first point.
That was Not yet. That was absolutely terrifying because Greek Shatter got canceled and they almost burst him down while Kizco was on the angle. It was beautiful. But Yo manages to get the 2K boop, which pushes them in the advantage and lead.
Oh,
And
no,
even that
GG.
gets Taijutsu. And that's just an unfortunate scenario as even the Tracer gets picked off. The Pharah is shut down. And now this is on Kappatilism's area to stop losing to reverse sweeps.
If your Pepega Parrots run that composition, it is literally what has won you every map that you have won against Capitalism.
Would
Run
say
it.
rather not because that allows them to win, but more or less because it because the Pagan Parrots, they can't play double shield on that map as well as they could on, say, Rialto or something. So both of these teams want to run out on the Shadow Dive, and this could make it or break it. Pepega Parrots or Kappatilism, make your predictions in the chat as we get ready for possibly the last map.
Oh, possibly. If this goes to a round 3 out of in a map 5, I'm gonna get really excited. But to do that, Pepega Parrots have to win this map. And they're doing a good job. Greek is so low. He's gone. Emerald just walked up and shotgunned him. Golo's hacked, but able to get healing and support from his team, especially from Damien. And Remy's mech being gone will mean this first point is going to eventually go over to Pepega Parrots. I hope someone gets on point. Okay, it will be the Lucio. Damien Depp's on point. And who has...
They don't really have much to worry about. I think Emerald just got so much value on the Reaper that that's what enabled them to win. And that's what kind of allowed them to get more of an opportunity. So they need to be doing more when it comes to pushing in.
Alright, Slick's gonna get a hack onto Damien Dap on the side, but after Hype's Coalescence is kind of just gonna force the rest of this fight to back off for a little bit, get you a couple more percentage. And here we go, counter engage, Kenobi's Coalescence. Greek again so low, but it's Emerald's Death Blossom that causes him to go down. But a 6-man EMP from Kizco might be what seals the deal. It might not even matter that Emerald has gone down, but with Kizco down as well, and Yosemite getting that sound barrier off, the rest of Kappatilism are able to kind of stabilize.
Yeah, their entire purpose of doing this right now is stall. They lose Golo and they have Tai and the Lucio, and they most likely aren't going to win this. But if you could force the enemy team to not only commit the 4 ultimates they have, but you can get a bit more percentage, then you've won the fight. There is no worry about it.
Okay, we do see After Hype's kind of sitting here on the side. After Hype's going to go in. They are going to keep stalling this as Kizco came in on the Sombra, and After Hype's now here on the Moira. They're going to continue to stall this as long as they can. Golo goes down, and there's the end of the stall. You can't make that jump, Emerald.
Yeah, that's just a bit unfortunate little stagger. It doesn't manage to get out the ultimates, which is the one part you're hoping for. Because Slick has EMP, they have Death Blossom, they have every win condition in their back pocket, while Damien only has a sound barrier. So they really need to do their best when engaging into this fight, or just trying to dry fight out of it.
Right, so your hope is that Kappatilism just decide to use everything in this fight. But either way, 70%, there goes EMP, there goes Death Blossom. It gets 3 with that combo, and the mech, it gets everyone with that combo. Damien's the only one out alive as Taijitu's gonna basically jump in.
Yeah, it's a really good combination. It works, it gets people down, but I think EMP is more than enough to shut people down if they could play it correctly, but maybe they just want to be secure. So going into this next fight, it's kind of a coalescence, and this is now where Damien doesn't have to sweat about Slick shutting him down, so he has more than enough room to try to play this game.
Exactly, Golo having to jump back on map there means his jump is out of commission for a couple seconds. Greek using Primo, Remy having used that self-destruct. Kenobi's dead, so there goes the Coalescence. And Yosemite's your only ult now. And Damien Dap was on point, getting this charged up a little bit. I think Pepega Parrots win this fight.
Oh, it's a possibility.
I mean, I think you win the fight. The question is, what percentage do you win it at? As we see Slick come back to stall. Oh, Kenobi gets booped off by Damien Dab. That could have saved that entire stall right there.
Yeah, now the issue is while they have both support ults, Kisco has the EMP. That not only shuts down a Coalescence, but that eliminates the sound barrier. So this is now a hard fight where they have to force Kiz to get it out and still have a stall.
His goes right here in the back line, gets the Lucio, so there's going to be no EMP, sound barrier coming out. It finally does come out, but Kenobi falls beforehand. There goes your sustained healing. 99% for Pepega Parrots. They might do this. Golo gets one. Reaper trying to get something done. Golo just face taking, not even caring. He has enough healing with that Coalescence to not worry about it. Emerald's Death Plus on the other side going to be doing something. Remy, oh my gosh, both EMPs went off. No, Slick's EMP went off. And Kisco got a hack off. Damien Zap with a sound barrier. I think this is it. Pepega Parrots win this fight.
No, they're still trying to. It's a big stagger as Greek's Primal is enabling them. Slick goes on to the Doomfist to try to bring this back, but Greek is already picked out, so they're looking to make something happen. There's no ultimates, and that Diva Bomb is looking to do much.
The Flex is trying to do what he can on this Tracer. He's been staying alive this entire time, stalling this point out, letting his team come back. Slick and Kenobi gone again. This is like the third or fourth time Kenobi's died in this fight, and the Flex is so low. Will finally fall. Is that what it takes? Is making the Flex gone what it takes? It is.
It absolutely.
Round 3.
You can't make this up, folks. This is now on the ropes. Kappatilism. They want to win it, but it seems for Pepega Parrots, they don't want to lose. They want to give love to the new manager that has been doing their best to kind of fix up the pieces that were left behind. Now, however, this leads into a brawl scenario. As I talked before, the server rooms are by far the most popular. And while we see different variations, specifically the Sig versus the Diva, I do feel the Diva has more of an advantage because you're going to be able to eat more of Junkrat's mines.
Exactly. So we'll have to see. Oh, Remy switches to the Sig.
Sig v Sig.
So this is going to be a mirror as of right now. We'll see what Emerald and the Flex do after their teleports. And as of right now, that is nothing. They're both coming out on this Symmetra. A lot of bombs coming out. Golo's the first one low. After Hype's Immortality Field is already gone. Emerald falls from the Flex. And it looks like Kappatilism going to be able to take this first point as they push Pepega Parrots back to their spawn.
Yeah, that's just, it's what Kappatilism is good at. Really the only composition that they can consistently run. As they played more aggressively, they overstepped their welcome and they denied that value. So while Kenobi is able to build up that window and now they have that shatter as a way to try to push in, we have to see how the enemy team tries to commit to it because they don't have anything really to beat it up aside from their own window.
Alright, here's the window. It's going to be able to get Pepega Parrots onto the point, and it's actually going to help them get 2 kills. The window comes out in retaliation, but it might be too late. Kenobi having used that Immortality Field as well. Kisco does not get killed by whatever that was next to him. It almost kills him, but that may be exactly what they needed. Kisco staying alive with the, what was it, like 10 health he had after that bomb went off at his feet.
29 seconds is not a bad time bank to be able to recapture, especially when you build up 3 ultimates. But I mean 4, Damien's going to be having that sound barrier. Now they need to make something happen with the 2 that they have. The Gravitic Flux is massive, but they're mirrored right now. It's the value, and it looks like the Shatter helps.
Oh my gosh, Slick gets a 2K. But here we go, Kisco trying to get it back. Does not get anyone with the post-mortem. But we'll see if he can actually work with his team to get to keep this point. It looks like it's Damien Taijutsu, and that's it on the point, but they're holding it.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. They got the it may have been on purpose, it may have been not, but they got the most important picks off first, and then Emerald comes back, has the window, their team. But they managed to pick it out. They bring it up to 46 seconds, and while Slick now has a Riptire, and that's going to be their win condition, it's about how they use it. It's about how the way if it doesn't get broken.
All right, Damien Dak was picked, comes back quickly. Slick's Riptire. There's a Gravitic Flux, so that would be perfect. Slick just Riptires into the Immortality Field. He just detonates his Riptire in the Immortality Field. He gets no one with it. And again, Pepega Parrots are going to win this fight.
This
Yes,
is
Yosemite.
this is not looking good. They have no ultimates in their bank. They're not focusing or really getting the opportunities to get these big value. Slick goes inside the Immortality hoping it would break first, but it didn't, and that's gonna cost them. So Remy goes over to the Diva trying to make something happen, but they're gonna need more than just something because the Flex is gone.
All right, here we go. We have the Riptire coming in. Everyone's in a container. Riptire plus Damien Dap equals, oh my gosh, this game might be over.
Oh my goodness, I don't believe anyone can touch. Folks, this is an issue. The Tracer's trying to go on the opposite way, and it's gonna be able to make it.
So it's the Flex and Yosemite on the point right now. The Flex, remember, a lot of stall time last point. So definitely can keep this stalled out if he's alive. Slick gets a kill. That's one thing you need. But Remy's out of mech. The Flex still alive. And that's your kind of win condition right now, is keeping the Flex alive if you're on the side of Kappatilism. Keep in mind, though, you're only at 29%. Even if you win this fight, you gotta come back. Greek gone. Kenobi's Immortality Field instantly gone, but he has that Amp Matrix, but the Flex is dead at Pepega Parrots.
The reverse sweep!
Reverse sweep!
2 weeks in a row! You don't let this happen. This is... I am lost for words, but Pepega Parrots almost having a collapse, being able to bring it back. Kappatilism not being able to beat a team this season so far. That's not only demoralizing, but you've got to give a story for the Pepega Parrots. Even without Boofa, they're being able to make a difference. Oh my goodness, Oh, do you have anything to say before I bring us into a break so we can bring in someone for an interview? Oh, my heart.
What was that? Oh my gosh, Pepega wins. I want to say one thing before I bring us into a break. If anyone in chat has questions, go ahead and say them. I look at chat.
I don't think that we'll be able to see it before by the time it happens, but I mean, yeah, we're gonna go on to a break, so stay tuned as we interview Pepega Parrots for the victory.
It's all right. We're back. Pepega Parrots reverse sweep capitalism, and joining us for the interview is Kizgo.
You know,
Oh
it's
my gosh.
quite free
But
actually.
My goodness. I just have to say it
yeah.
was an amazing series. But I guess my first question for you is going into this, Pepega Parrots definitely had a lot of issues. I understand you guys have had a couple internal struggles, some things stopping you from really being able to win and out. And really, what were your expectations going in, and how does it feel knowing that you're leaving a winner?
Uh, I was on everyone was betting on us winning, so I was like, all right, that sounds good. I can play some DPS, throw a couple hands. You know how it is. Everyone was betting on us. So I just expected to get the dub anyways.
Uh, so was this a DPS difference, tank difference, support difference, Kizgo difference? What was it
I believe it
towards
was a
the end?
woozy difference with the amount of positive reinforcement he gave us in the text chat today. It was very, very reinforcing for our team to get the reverse sweep. And honestly, it's just a Golo difference. Main tank diff.
Golo really looked great. But honestly, can I get a bit of inner perspective? Is what caused you guys to struggle out so far? I mean, it's capitalism. They seem to have a curse when it comes to these map fives. This is the second week they have been reverse swept. So really, what was kind of the thing you guys realized you needed to kind of abuse from them to be able to finish things out?
All right, I'm gonna be so honest, y'all. We thought we were just gonna lose, and I was kind of like, it was like me and Damien where we kind of had high spirits, and then everyone else a little bit down in the dumps. But I was like, wait, Damien, can I run Farah here on Real? And then we just went in with it, like we just absolutely dominated with it. Like 2 minutes or something on the time bank. That was crazy.
It was absolutely insane. And honestly, do you feel like the double shield kind of gave you guys that like opening to what you needed to do? Because you guys didn't look clean on the brawl until around the last areas.
Yeah, I didn't even know we were good at double shield, man. I'm not gonna lie. I had to ghost the scrim on like Thursday, and we didn't scrim yesterday. So we just kind of brought it out and won the game.
Then, Vulcan, do you really have any lasting questions?
So you really just said, let's just. So you really just screwed around and found out, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I just wanted to feel like Oasis in 2019. Just hitting the Farah shots, getting the
Oh my
dubskis.
gosh.
As a bottom seed team, have we won a game yet? I haven't really been paying
No.
You
attention.
guys, look, you've won a game now. Does it matter?
Okay, it doesn't matter. Screw these guys. They suck.
Yeah, so I guess really my last question is, do you have anything to say to people listening and the people that were wishing you to win?
Oh, dude, I love everyone in the chat typing "kids goat." Stewie is the inventor of that, by the way. Stewie is such a goat for inventing that word. I'd like to thank Woozy once again, just an amazing figure in our community. And Frozen was spamming the chat, bro. He really loves Rio, I guess. I
Yes.
like him too.
Well, either way, you're free to go. Go enjoy your day and that victory.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sheeskies, my boys. Let's get out
Yeah.
here. See ya.
Oh man, he breaks my cameras and leaves me what favor. What a good man. My camera stopped. Oh no. Uh, Either way, we'll just continue on for a bit. But that was really the lasting of it. And what are your lasting impressions going in kind of with these teams right now?
Pepega got to win.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, I feel like this not only opens it up for kind of teams to see that, hey, there is opportunities to bring it out. League Zero, while Scuff has the opportunity to bring in differences and changes to where these teams can do whatever they want. So do you have any lasting comments before you bring us out of here?
Actual impressions. Pepega Parrots run double shield. You're apparently good at it. Capitalism. Don't. I don't want to say don't throw, but don't stress or don't like get in that attitude after winning 2 maps. You still gotta work
You
hard,
gotta clean it
even
out.
if even after 2 maps. But that's really my only things to say.
All right? Take us right out of here, my good man.
All right, that was capitalism versus Pepega Parrots. Pepega Parrots reverse sweeping a 3-2 to win their first game of the season. This has been League Zero. This has been a random Monday night game because things have to get rescheduled sometimes. And we'll see y'all next week.